Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
We want to go all in on GME. Roaring Kitty is back and we love ourselves some meme stocks. To the moon!
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that checked and it's gone.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Laughing Stock. Welcome back, Dane. How are you?
Good, nice. It's nice to be back with you. Finally,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
stream with both of us.
Finally back again, both of us, and a lot of things has happened this week. It has been one of the most crazy weeks in a while, I think. With is it a comeback from Roaring Kitty, or what are we seeing here?
I don't know. I'm really kind of torn actually as this goes on because it's kind of strange. I don't want to accuse him of anything, but it seems kind of pump and dumpish right now, just because there's no context to it. Which I don't think it's that, because I didn't get that from him at all before.
No,
Now,
same.
You know, I mean, and you know, it was one of the rare off events where GME worked out super well for him, and he happened to have ridiculous amount of option contracts. So like, you know, it just ballooned into something crazy in the short interest too. So, and I don't know, maybe because the short interest had trickled back up, you know, that reinterested him in the stock. And to be honest, you know, if you're short those kind of stocks, like that's, I don't know. I can't believe anybody's short GME these days.
No,
I don't care. I don't care how bad the company looks or good it looks to you. You don't short some of those meme stocks. So
yeah.
I don't know, but and maybe he's got something coming down the pipe still.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Like, I'm very interested to see where we are, where we are going with this, because, like you said, it's hard to interpret anything without the context. That there's no context right now. But some of the memes he has posted lately, like the last 3 days or something, has been 100% directed to Ryan Cohen and GME. So, you know, I don't think he would post that. This because I was thinking for a while that he was maybe not referring to GME because if you just look at the fundamentals, it's a bit like if you have watched his previous streams, but you also have to think that these are 3 years ago, and maybe his strategy was even before that, you know, so maybe he has changed a bit his strategy as well. But just purely on the fundamentals, do you think he would jump into that if it was 3 years ago, just on the fundamental basis?
I don't know. I mean, RK said himself that, fundamental valuation and, having like a margin of safety was always like the basis for his strategy. But, he took a lot of other considerations in which, I've been talking about how I've been doing somewhat similar of an idea. And maybe that's just, it comes from just the experience of investing for longer. But I mean, in terms of my evaluation, like I just pulled it up in my just to look at the numbers here. And if I look at it on just a like an EV basis and you just divide it by share count. Now, granted, this is as the stock price is currently around $22, so it might not have held, but what's their debt level right now? So their debt's pretty low actually. So this would have held. I get it could be worth about $21. So if he initially started investing in this, what was it before it popped?
It was like I pulled them up for the first time on a stream like on Thursday a week ago and a few days, and then it had quickly went from like 12 to 18, I think.
Yeah.
So let's say he got in again then around 10 to 12 maybe.
I think my camera froze here. Yeah, to be honest, if it was down around 12 or 13 when he decided to get in, I don't think it's that crazy to think that he might have just on a fundamental been like, nah, there's no way it's worth, like it could be easily argued it's worth more than this. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on here.
When I had it, it was like pushing up to 20, and then the market cap was almost 6 billion already, and I was like, I'm never gonna discount, like you said, that anything can happen there. And then it did, like just a few days later, he posted that first tweet, and then it skyrocketed up to, what was it, like 70 in the pre-market?
Yeah, I mean, the pre-market's always kind of nuts. I try not to focus on that too much just because it does get nutty. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and there's been so many names that have run. I mean, obviously AMC and BlackBerry, like the typical Wall Street bet stocks popped. But then some of these other names like FFIE, I think it's CRKN, BNED yesterday. If you want to talk about one that burns a little bit.
Yeah.
BNED was up. So I don't know. There's a lot going on. So it's just kind of crazy, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm very curious to see. And yesterday he was posting something like, if I can't speak kind of thing. If I speak, I'm in big trouble, like a meme about that. So, but we have been talking a bit, and it's very weird if someone has control over his account and he isn't even saying that, hey guys, this is not me, So yeah, I just assume it's him.
Yeah, I have to at this point assume it's him. And part of the reason I assume it's him too is because if someone was going to try and hack your account, I don't think they would in anticipation think that they're going to have your account for like a week. Like, it's been like a week and a half now that since he's been posting. So this is well orchestrated in the idea that like someone sat there and made all these memes, which I'm assuming is him. And if that's the case, there's no way that, someone hacked his account and is like assuming like, oh, I'm going to have control for his account for a couple of weeks. Like you would assume if you hack someone's account, you'd probably be shut down within like maybe possibly even minutes. Yeah. So,
and we
you're
saw
not going
a
to
tweet
sit there
from
and make like 2 weeks of memes and then, think like that. Well, the other thing that's strange too is like you said, if he really can't talk, if it's like, I don't know. I don't know why. Well, maybe like his lawyer's telling him he can't do it, but maybe they're like, if you just post memes, you can do whatever you want or something. I don't know. Maybe you're right on that.
Yeah. No, I'm just. I know you rode it a bit this wave. I was on the sidelines just watching, and I'm just interested to see are we getting him back to doing streams? Is he going to do videos? Will there be like a documentary? I don't. Maybe he this is like a promotion to create interest for some project he has, or maybe it is on GME and that's the only thing. I don't know, but I'm very eager to find out. And But I'm starting to doubt that we ever will get the context here ever, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I'm not trying to speculate too much because the other thing I got from the guy is he seemed like a good dude. I always
Yeah.
got that from him. So I don't think he would come in here and pump and dump it.
No.
It like I said, it looks a little rough right now, and I'm wondering because of the way that he has to do these memes, if that's true, it's gonna be tough for him to be able to come out. But I would still think like, okay, you can't if he can't come out and talk about stocks like per se, like if like his lawyers argue like, yo, you could get sued if you do that now. If that's the case, he could still come out on his like Twitter and still say like, hey guys, like just something on there, like not even about the stocks, but just, like I'm back investing, I just want people to know I'm still interested in, continuing on with my portfolio or something like that. That was kind of like more generic and not towards even GameStop or whatever. And then people would at least have something to go on.
Yeah, and he will always be connected to GME and maybe only that, and him and GME will always go hand in hand. And if he had just posted that one picture that he did in the first post, I think maybe the same stuff would happen, even still, just from that one tweet.
No, I agree. So and that's the other thing too, is like it's kind of tough because any name that guy posts or does anything with, if it's associated with anything, you could see it pop, and the markets right now are kind of I feel like the whole meme idea had felt like it had died and like felt like that was something in the past. And now after just seeing this quick like rebirth of it, it just goes to show you that like people are looking for these like gambling type opportunities out there. Everyone's happy to make like a quick buck.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
And he's obviously associated with it. So I think it's tough because no matter what, anything he posts, he could post any name out there and it can take off just because you got enough people out there who are just like, just put money into it right now because other people are going to think the same thing.
Yeah. And then it's about being the quickest in and out again, to get this spike.
Right.
But I also like it sounds a bit weird to me that he would go now and use social media to do those things. But I mean, it's not that much different to what a lot of the big he's now a big guy, but like the big fonts are doing as well. They, this is not. A lot of people are doing this already, like posting about their tickets, and then it goes up and they sell out, and then they move on.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, I feel like it's tough because it depends on your time frame. Like this is one thing I realized, like on Seeking, it's really important to know when, like for instance, when Henrik Alex is talking, knowing he's a trader, it just makes me look at his argument a little bit differently than someone like Courage, for instance, who's more of a longer term. But Courage also isn't even like a long term investor. He's more like our time frame where it could be like a few months to a year to something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just kind of having the context of what someone's doing versus like someone who's like a Buffett investor and they're looking out like, I'm going to hold this thing for 15 years or forever. And, if you're doing that, you're valuing that way differently than someone who's just looking at like, like a quick return or trading it. You know what I mean? Like it's totally different. So.
Yeah. Like the set of eyes you have on it.
Yeah, it's just everyone's got different styles. So just kind of appreciating, what everyone's kind of looking at when you're going through.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like I said, that's part of the reason why I've expanded my portfolio to just kind of involve like a bunch of different strategies. And I think I'm learning that about myself. They always say that like you're going to invest more how your personality is. And I've always been someone who I kind of like, I like to take bits and pieces of everything. I think everything has merit. And and because of that, some people say that's like a poor choice because you get too convoluted with all these different strategies. But in my mind, if there's a way I can keep it going and understand what's going on with all the different tickers, it's fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all. So maybe that's just more how I am. So like I said, I mean, that's the part of investing over time is, you know, you learn, you get experience. And this is why it's like I was just telling you before the stream, this is why it's tough. Like BNED, you know, it hurts to watch BNED go back up that much. And I know it's probably just momentum after, because I don't know if anybody else had seen, but Greenhaven apparently had made with Outerbridge a they basically put together a plan to try and purchase BNED, but they got denied by the board. And Outerbridge ended up backing out after the deal didn't go through. And I guess Greenhaven's still kind of in talks, but the board currently thinks that the equity rights offering that they proposed earlier, which was what kind of hurt previous legacy shareholders, which Greenhaven is a previous legacy shareholder. So in their interest, it probably made a lot more sense to not go through the rights offering if they could just outright buy it. Because at this point it's cheap, which is why it makes sense too. Like, I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot here over losing on that one, because the other thing too is they put a poison pill in place because they probably knew not only Greenhaven, because they're already involved, but like some of these other people could come in here and sweep this up for less than $100 million. And I'm sure the board doesn't want someone to come in and just do that to them. So, I mean, it's kind of whatever at this point, but I don't think the board's I don't think they're going to take any offer unless it's insane, which I don't think anyone's going to pay like some crazy amount, because there is still risk with BNED actually working as a business. So with that being said, I think that with all those variables and whatnot, that's kind of why I'm starting to like think like instead of taking some of these larger positions, it's okay for me to kind of like maybe have a little bit faster turnover and be in a bunch of different names. And when something like this happens, and it's just, you know, sometimes you get lucky. You know, it's not necessarily, you don't have to worry about so much about timing, because if it's a huge position for you, you have to be perfect with your timing, because, you know, you could be up or down so much in a few days. And if you miss something, you know, it's just tough.
Yeah.
So I think, and I should have, you know, obviously this is why they talk about risk. You know, there's business risk when you only have a few stocks versus market risk when you're split across all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll see how it goes forward. My portfolio, like I was just telling you, it's up to like 85 stocks right now. Yeah. And my goal is to hold maybe just over 100, I think. Which I know sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot, but at the same time too, I like I said, I've been using kind of the technicals to know when to trim things and when to add. And it's not that I'm using technicals like as my buy and sell. It's that it basically alerts me to either narrative changes or fundamental changes. And everything's always still based in the fundamentals. Like I'm not buying something or rarely am I buying something just off technicals. If I do too, it's a super small position, like 0.5% or something. So it doesn't really, you know, and if that one pops, great. If not, it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to lose much.
No.
And that's like I said, that's what I'm going to keep going forward too, because I'm a fundamental value investor, and think that's by far the most important thing. Narrative matters too. I definitely agree. Narrative matters, and growth matters too. I mean, all those things. I mean, this isn't like anything. It's kind of common sense, but in that vein, like those positions that either have like really good growth potential or the fundamentals to me look great, and I think the market's mispricing it. Those will become larger positions, and I'll be using the technicals with them, but not in the same way as before. You know?
Yeah. And if you have watched the stream, I mean, you're gonna see us test and tweak our strategy and portfolio management and stuff like that throughout the as we go along here. But you will always see that the fundamentals are at the basis of the whole thing. We have screeners, and then we pull it in to do the fundamental research, and then if you pass that, okay, we get a bit interesting. That's where you can play with it a little bit for like a good entry when you will sell and stuff like that. But like you say, rarely will you see anything in the portfolio that hasn't like passed the fundamental test for our strategy here on the stream, right?
Yeah, because it's just hard to get a ton of conviction in something. And like I said, I mean, even when I saw GME pop, I literally bought GME because I saw Roaring Kitty post that stupid meme, just because I knew what was going to happen. And but like I said, I took like just under a 1% position on it, and it worked out. I was able to essentially trade it, which I'm not a trader, so I kind of knew going into it, it could be
Yeah.
lost money, but I was like, there's no doubt this is going up higher than this, and I had seen it early enough to be able to take that position. Will I do that going forward? I don't know, but I think there's always there's different ways to invest, and if you're able to capitalize once in a while on something that I feel like I understand. I just understand how traders move when it comes to meme stocks. When it starts to pop on something that's changed, it goes fast, and you only have a little bit of time, which is why I got in and got out.
Yeah.
I'm not diamond handing it.
No.
If you
But
do, it works for you in the long run, good for you. But for me, it's I'm not that kind of investor.
No. Now let's see where this goes. They decided now to issue shares, GME. So
so did AMC. I saw that, which also to me looks kind of shady.
It's pretty much down to where it was when he first tweeted, right? I think it was like
somewhere around there. And that's that was the other thing too, is like I said, it had been on my radar for a little bit just because it was starting to come back. And I was like, wow, there's actually some pretty decent volume to GME all of a sudden. And the share price was appreciating. Yeah. And it wasn't that I was taking a position or anything, because let me see what hold on, I just want to go my evaluation real quick. Like, where do I have a fair valuation for GameStop? I have it around like $14 right now.
Yeah.
I could see, you could argue it's worth like 20, maybe just over that, but not much more than that. So, it hanging out around $22 right now isn't that crazy to me. Now, in the long run, how does its fundamentals look? Not great. It's definitely still not turning around yet. So I don't know. It's a little tough to say, but could I see someone argue that right now it's worth that? Sure. I mean, it has cash over its debt. It has $869 million in cash and only 603 in debt. So, I mean, it's literally cash positive. So just on that alone.
Yeah. No, crazy. I'm just I want Roaring Kitty to come back streaming. I think we have a lot left to learn from him.
I have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah, imagine our chat. We love when people tune in and everything, but our chat is pretty quiet. Imagine his chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is even in his chat too. At this point, it would just be nonstop. So many people would be posting. It'd be hard to have a real conversation.
Would be flooded. And I saw actually that he on X has like soon tripled his following, I think, in just that week and a half. I think he had around 500K. Now he has more than 1 million followers there. So yeah, people are very, very interested here still.
Yeah, and I mean, it's I understand it too. It makes sense. It's more just there's just a lot to consider, and the fact that he hasn't really been able to say anything just yet, it's just tough to feel like I understand anything on what's going on with it. And at this point, like I said, it kind of doesn't look good right now. Like I'm kind of disappointed that at this point it just looks like kind of a pump and dump, which I didn't think that's what his goal would be here.
No.
So I don't know. I'm saying this in hopes that I'm wrong. I'm not saying this because I'm accusing him at all. But like I said before, I thought he was like a genuine great person. I thought he meant very well. I thought he was, he inspired me to invest. So I take so much respect from him.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that because I think that.
But if you look around on social media, there's a lot of people that are like scratching their heads a bit, like we are talking about here, like what's going on, and there has been some other people that have mentioned what you just said as well, and so there's definitely conversations about it, but no, like you said, he didn't come across as someone who would do this at all when you watch his streams back then, at least. But things changed. Maybe he has gone through hell now with the lawsuits and everything, and
Yeah,
things
I
can
mean,
change.
you bring up a good point. It could be something as simple as that. Is that he's just kind of fed up with it, and he's probably been harassed for who knows how long.
Yeah, because
But
he
at the
clearly
same time,
loved what he was doing with the streams
right?
and everything. He clearly loved it.
Yeah, and GME when he first started the stream, GME wasn't like a top position or anything. So it's not like going into that stream, he was all in on GME and was like, I'm just going to work on that name and make that name pop. GME
No.
slowly on the stream became his top name, and he just
Yeah.
kept becoming more and more bullish on it. And I think it wasn't until Cohen took that massive position that he got real serious about it. And, and don't get me wrong, Burry was in it before, or around the same time he was. I don't know if he was in before, but either way, I don't think initially that he had anything like that. That's why it's strange right now what's going on. And I don't want to spend the whole stream just talking about,
No,
GME
we can move on.
but at the same time too, I think it's obviously kind of a big deal. So it's just interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I mean, I have pulled up, like, I've done this before in one of the streams, and this is a social sentiment side called Ape Wisdom, and you can see AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, they are all at the top again now. And not too long ago, they were pretty far down, to be honest. They for years they have been in the top here, and then they have fallen for like maybe the last year or something, and now straight back up. So the reason, of course, that we spend a little bit time on this today is it is actually a big thing in the entire market, what has happened now this last 1.5 weeks. So this is like the topic of the week, right?
It's hard to argue there's anything else. I mean, like I said, there's some other names that have popped. Nvidia's got earnings coming next week. Fed numbers came out, inflation was coming down. So there's other things that's going on that are all, important in finance. But at the same time, too, it's hard to argue that the meme stocks weren't all of a sudden like, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, are meme stocks coming back? I probably would have been confident in almost saying no,
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you how little I know. Like, just don't assume, because you don't know. You never know.
No.
Never assume anything.
No. And just like sometimes, if you were in GME before Ron Kitty started to post again, sometimes you are also lucky. And you can argue he was also a bit lucky back then when Ryan Cohen took that position, because
of course,
he wasn't talking about that at all. That just happened.
Right, but that's why I'm saying. So this is why, like, for instance, back in the day when he was doing his portfolio, and this is one thing I've been thinking about, when I have more positions like I do now. If I have GME in my portfolio, for instance, and back in the day, it was a value stock, there was a narrative change. And, Burry, for instance, there's like big insider buy. So, and Burry even had wrote about it and it became his top position. So you got to start to become bullish at that point, being like, okay, I like this company. Now it's Michael Burry's top position. Like that to me is like all big signs. And then you get Ryan Cohen to buy in, So when you have all these different stocks, and you had a catalyst, which I mean, I give him some credit, because you got to have balls to buy those option contracts. Because he bought them, didn't he? I think they were for January, which means he was assuming that was going to work out. And if that didn't, it was. I mean, I think he had posted it was like $50,000, which I don't know. I'm always confused, because like in that Dumb Money movie or whatever it's called, they said like his net worth they thought was like $80,000. It was a 5% position and it was worth $50,000, which means to me, he's got like 800 grand.
Yeah.
Which if that's the case, then the movie was just totally wrong. Or somehow he was lying about what his numbers actually were. Because if you look at the DFV, he would show you how much he had, which was like 50,000. And then it skyrocketed up from there and up back and forth. But if you looked at his portfolio on Roaring Kitty, it was only a 5% position at the same time. So somewhere there's some math that's not working out there. So either he literally had like $800,000 and had been very successful, like he said he had been, which I do believe. That's what I believe. I believe he had a lot of money. The movie got it wrong, and he took a $50,000 position. Which, if it's only 5% of your portfolio, it's not that much. You know, it sounds like a lot probably to the average person, like, oh, I'm going to take a $50,000 bet on GME. But at the same time, if it was only 5% of his position and he was that bullish, that doesn't sound that crazy to me.
Yeah.
So,
and to be honest, that movie had a lot of things wrong. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I saw that I think it even said estimated net value for him in the movie. So obviously they didn't really do much research. I don't think they did much research anyways, because that movie was like laughably wrong on some things. But either way, you know, it's Hollywood, it's entertainment. Yeah. It's not really.
They didn't even mention Barry in that movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, they missed out on such major points. Like, they acted like he was just this random guy who, you know, was like kind of unconfident almost. And I'm like, that's not at all what's going on here. But sure.
All right,
Dane. But, you know, I talked to a lot of people who didn't know what happened with GameStop, and they said they loved the movie. So I guess Hollywood did it.
I've experienced the same. I've experienced the same that you said there, that they thought the movie was very cool and good, and I guess if you just followed, but saying that though, you need to be a little bit special to spend a lot of time watching our streams, his streams, and doing this. Like, it's not for everyone. So I can understand the entertainment. Like, if you just want to follow stocks on a surface level, you probably think that that movie was cool, you know, because it's a great story.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, so we'll see, obviously, but
you want to move a bit into BNED before we start to pull up some tickers, because we have seen, like you talked about the filings, Greenhaven, they have a 9.9% position now. If you go to fintel.io, you will see like the 13D filings, and I saw Courage and Conviction had this tweet about it, like, interesting seeing Scott Miller file a 13D and that he is exploring alternative transaction to the horrible IMNR deal. I'm on the sidelines, having taken some expensive medicine, but rooting for Scott here. So we have said before that we saw that Courage was out, but he's still like us, just paying attention to it. And we talked just before the stream. It's a bit annoying to us that this is all happening. Of course, it was up. What was it? 153 almost % in a day yesterday. But if you read the comments here, it's like people are saying a bit like this is not anything too new, and I interpret it like they are talking about that this is misinterpreted a bit, like this news. But who gives a shit if you get 150% gain, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know if there's too much to say, because it's kind of like this was my point before when I was talking. The way management sounds to me is, if you're going to put a poison pill in place, it's because you want this equity offering to go through. You think that's the best deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if so Greenhaven, you know, when they go to them and they take a 9.9% position, they took that position because they're saying like, hey, we understand you put a poison pill in place and we're not trying to like overstep our boundaries, but we think that we can do something with you guys and make a better deal than what you came up with. And what do you call it? When they denied that, in my mind, that makes me think that, okay, even though they think there's this better deal, they're not happy with it. So it's I think it's kind of a lost cause. I don't think management's going to take on some separate offer unless it's drastically higher. You know, they were offering 85 million, which I think after the IMR deal and the equity rights offering and subtracting out all the charges that will cost for that, they said it was around like 75 million that they would get. So this is an 85 million deal that they refused, and they're happier with the $75 million deal that, you know, so I don't know. So to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something's strange here. The board is I don't know. I don't know why they'd be happier with that deal. I don't know where that makes any sense.
No. And we have gone through this a lot in some of the streams right after we got knowledge of the offering. But you gotta say that management doesn't come across very much as very shareholder friendly when they manage to do something like that. And even if they have an offer that they refuse to accept, that is better, you know, there's something weird. But I see some of the people that we were following in the whole BNED story here is still commenting on it. I saw also Kingdom up here was like, amazing opportunity for those stuck in BNED, can sell X rights and still vote yes to get your right to buy at 5 cents in June. Seems like no chance deal gets voted down now. And he's referring to this post from Lake Cornelia. So if you still follow BNED, let us know in the comments what you think of this development, and what do you think of this move also, because you know, it's at 45 cents now, and like you were saying in the past here, Dane, that if it was a small position, you might as well just ride it out and still be in it, you know. But we both sold out when everything happened, and we took the loss, like Courage also has done.
Yeah. You know, like I said, it was a major mistake for me to take such a large position in it, because with the rights offering, I actually didn't think the rights offering was all that terrible. I was in a terrible position because of what the rights offering was, which was my mistake. So it's kind of whatever at this point, but yeah. Oh, trust me, that's part of the reason why I've rethought what, you know, and I just shouldn't have taken that big of a position. I doubled down at one point, which, like I said, I should have trimmed. And I just got overconfident because I thought it was going to work out. And like I said, I thought someone was going to buy it. So it's whatever at this point. But yeah, if I would have had a smaller position, I'd still be in it. I think there's still value in it. And honestly, I'll be considering maybe taking a position here just because I think it's an interesting thing again. And at this point, if I take a 1% position in or 2% and it works out, I mean, great. You know, I get back a little bit of something. So BNED doesn't burn me so bad. But I don't know. I'm not going to enter here just yet. I have to look back through, because I don't know if you own it right now, do you still get an opportunity to get the rights offering? When was that cutoff? Do you know?
No, but I think that's what they were saying. It was 14th of May or something.
Yeah, so if I miss the chance to get in the rights offering, I wouldn't be buying here. I will wait until maybe till afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the stock price is going to bounce around because it's so cheap. You know, you can come in here with like a few $100,000 and buy a ridiculous amount of shares here when this is trading at 20 cents. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you look at if you look at a chart and you look at the volume for BNED, I mean, it was like each hour, it was like 1 million shares or 2 million shares were trading. So, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of money, even small retail money, to be able to move that stock drastically. So, so we'll see. I mean, you know, obviously it's nice to see someone else is looking at it. And for anybody who's held on to BNED, this is bullish, man. You should be pumped that that the stock appreciated like this on that news, and that maybe, I don't know. Cause the other thing too is, you know, they're offering this at 5 cents, like this equity rights offering at 5 cents. And they assumed probably the stock price would plummet to where it was, like all the way down, maybe even to 10 or 15 cents because of the rights offering. But now that the price of the stock's back to 45 cents, maybe they will it would start to make like an offer from someone like Greenhaven more serious, because it's like, listen, you know, your stock price obviously can be valued a lot higher than, 20 cents. Like it should be valued higher than that. So I don't know. I'm still surprised they want to offer, 2 billion shares and then do like a reverse 100-to-1 split and bring it back down to, what would that be? 20 million shares or something like that, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause there's a reverse split coming also.
Yeah. They've already said they will reverse. That's part of the whole thing. So it is going to happen. And they said 100-to-1 is currently what they're thinking. So at 2.5 billion, it'll come down to, was that 250 million. That would be.
Yeah,
So-
something like that. Which is, yeah. No, but like you said, though, if you saw this now, and that's our mistake again, like it could be viewed as attractive, but there's still a lot of things going on here, and who knows, it can drop again, I guess. But you remember that Friday that we referred to a little bit? If I can find it here in the volume, that was in February, right?
The one day where it had all the volume.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, to be honest. Hang on, let me just pull up BNED real quick.
Maybe it was April here, 23 million. No, it was only
It was
8,
February.
right?
It was February, like 20 something. I can't. Oh, hold on. Let me turn. I can inspect this. Let me inspect.
No, I got it. It was 2nd of February. It
Correct.
went to 8 million. So
You know,
the
and to
volume
be
yesterday
honest,
was crazy in comparison.
It touched 60 cents yesterday,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild. That. Oh my god.
Could have.
Damn, that
could
sucks.
have.
That would have been everything back.
Yeah, could have. How do you say it? Like covered the loss pretty good there.
Yeah.
But okay.
But that's
We
my
cannot
point.
see-
Is I can't speculate on that it would have came back, because it also dropped down to like 15 cents at one point, and probably down there I would have been killing myself. I didn't sell more of it even quicker than I did. So
Yeah.
it just is what it is. I mean, that's that. Like I said, that's why I'm not going to be taking that large a position. And when you hit these, you're going to hit them, and when not, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you gotta also have the skill to move on and look at it with new eyes, and maybe like you said, this can be interesting when everything is settled down and the balance sheet is in order, and maybe you can jump in again and not have like feelings towards that you were burned in the past. But it's the same management team, so that's something to keep in mind though.
Right. No, for sure.
I just wanted, before we go into the fundamentals, I saw there was some, just a couple of comments on those stuff. And it's just like Justin is battling a little bit in the comments again, that the people, it seems like there's a lot of people that start to lose faith that Western Plants is actually worth around 100 million or more, like Justin is saying. But you remember, he was on the call asking specifically for the price there, and management then joked that they would like to get 600 million. So they obviously didn't think like his 100 million number was anything insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's another one of those things too that it's kind of hard to say, if they sell, where it will end up. But
yeah,
I think they're serious about it at this point. I think they realize the benefit of doing that. I think the board there has kind of like tucked their tail a little bit after everything that's kind of gone on, and starting to accept kind of outside views and how to handle things. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And who knows what Justin is doing behind the scenes here. He has talked in the past that he has communication with them, and I would assume that he's it seemed like on the call at least that they had a very good relationship, and I will assume that he's also able to put pressure on them if he feels like that's the right thing to do. So I have no issues. I see a lot of people are asking him if he is like doing that, and I assume he does if he feels that's the right thing to do. And but he was just saying here like he disagree with the comment above because there's some in addition to well-known public companies, there are quite a few private companies as well as funds willing to fund a deal for such an acquisition, all thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. I really don't think anyone understands how much this changed ethanol plant's value. especially with all the guidance that has been issued within just the last 6 months. A lot has changed. So he's like talking about some potential because of this reduction act, Inflation Reduction Act, that has made a lot of things in the ethanol industry a bit more valuable.
Yeah.
And I know
and
Justin has been talking about this a lot, so I just trust him more than a lot of these other comments on these articles, you know, and we have talked about it in the past. A lot of these names probably jumped in between Q2 and Q3 in 23, which is a period where you have been burnt a lot, you know, so I can understand their view and everything, but I've just followed Justin here for a while, and I know that he's very solid in his research. Can be wrong anyways, but his research, you can't really question it, in my opinion.
Well,
I mean, you can't question it, but you can't question his like his seriousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty concentrated investor. He sticks to these names. He doesn't give up on things. So, it might work out in the guy's favor, you know, just to sit there and keep positive and keep working with management. You know, he's definitely more of an activist than a passive investor. And I think if you're an activist and you get into something, like it should be your job basically to sit there and try and figure out how to make this work out, because you know, like it greatly benefits you, and it's great for other shareholders, and it's great for the business itself. So and I think he does a good job at just covering things. And anytime someone's out there, you know, he's bullish. So yeah, he's going to argue with you if you put a bear case, but some of the points he brings up are solid points. And you know, I'm looking to even though I've sold out of most of my ALTO position, I am looking to find a point to re-enter, and I will if I find that to come up. So at this point, I don't disagree with what he's saying. I think it's just going to take a little bit more time before the market starts to appreciate it, you know?
Yeah. But like I said before, I understand everyone's view. Management has not done a fantastic job within the last year.
Right.
By any means. But they kind of have done somewhat in the past, at least. So it's not all bad. I've kept saying this on a few streams, but my patience is also running out at a certain point. But I haven't reached that yet. I'm going to stick with it a bit more, maybe all the way through 2024, and then reassess as things get public. And you know, we are waiting on the Volt deal and then the carbon sequestration program, and see how that will work. But they have improved the plants a lot now, and you know, installed a lot of systems that have improved the efficiency and stuff like that. So that's also a point towards maybe that they want to sell off some of the plants, because now they are up to date and everything works fine there.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, how look at BNED, you know, something turns around, and you know, this is a stock that's been depressed for a while, and you know, the market, I feel like as bad news continues to kind of roll out for something like that, the market always overreacts in one direction. And I think you're seeing that with ALTO again. I think ALTO is going to trickle back down like it had before to the low dot, like, you know, closer to $1. I don't think it's going to get that low.
Yeah.
But all it's going to take is one good earnings quarter or something stupid, because that's how Wall Street reacts, and it's going to triple or quadruple, you know, easily.
It can go. It can go quickly. Because these are big things that we are waiting on.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're going to see, to be honest.
Yeah. But okay, let's try to find something new then, Dane. I just want to go quickly in the dashboard here before we go into the fundamentals, but there's a lot of green stuff, but and silver and copper are up. I see silver mines been a little bit bullish for gold and silver for a while now. I saw some gold companies in my daily movers, but I just had a quick look and they were they didn't seem good to me, so I didn't pull them up today.
Yeah, I see some of the commodities are up. Natural gas was up a little bit.
Yeah, uranium.
Like you said, Bitcoin was up a little bit.
Yeah,
A lot of miners. Miners are looking pretty good right now at this
yeah, they
point.
are.
I just want to peek at the miner chart here. Yeah, I mean, the miners look good.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I have the Sprott Gold Miners ETF chart up, and I mean, it got all the way down to like almost 21, and now it's at almost 30.
Yeah,
So definitely have broken that.
yeah. And the silver miners is very similar.
So yeah, they've been having a good run, and I know with talks of everything becoming electric, that's why you're seeing like some of these rare metals, copper, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, just skyrocket because there's just such demand. I feel like for the infrastructure, in order to have everything electric. Like if you really want to, and I actually think that's kind of compounded by AI. Like you want all these super powerful computers like computing all this information and taking advantage of this new software, and you got to power it, and it's very power intensive. So
Yeah.
I see like
Uh,
Stillwater's up, all those names.
have you seen the uranium chart, Dane?
Yeah, and actually I took a position in you.
Yeah. It looks
So
great, right? And it's not even overbought on the weekly at least. And it took out the recent high here. So
yeah,
it does look good,
the
this
position
chart.
in you is, it's not a huge one, but it's been doing well for me. So
Yeah.
I will remain bullish on that one at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you see here? Like there was some in the risk column.
Marijuana's up,
Yeah.
which it's been looking good. Like I said, it's going to reschedule here in the States, so that's just big news because it's just going to make the entire industry that much more profitable and probably have that much more interest.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is around the world, I mean, you can argue whether you think the United States is a leader in anything these days, but people do tend to look at the United States as kind of like somewhat of a form of guidance. And if you see the United States basically start to deschedule marijuana as this dangerous drug, I think that will spread around the world. I mean, to be honest, the only reason it was considered a really dangerous drug was because of the United States and all the misinformation I feel like that they put out about it, which I don't know if you follow the history of it, but it was basically hemp was going to become a great product. It is a great product, and I can't remember what his name was, but he owned like a bunch of the paper companies and stuff, and he owned a bunch of lumber, and he was terrified that hemp was going to destroy his business, so he just basically gave marijuana like a terrible name and shot it down. So, I think here in the States, that whole narrative is changing very quickly. And it's only a matter of time before it just kind of goes away. And I think a lot of other countries will follow that suit.
Yeah.
We just saw in Europe. I mean, didn't Germany just I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly.
Remember Max said it was a bit misleading though, that news, but there's definitely moves here in Europe as well, and you have certain countries that are way more what do you say, like
Lax.
Yeah, relaxed about it, like a couple of Netherlands, maybe Denmark a bit.
Has always been.
Yeah, so it will spread out. I think we're talking about it a little bit here in this country as well, and things are happening, but I'm not sure how easy it will be in some of these countries. It will spread.
Yeah, so, it is tough to say no matter what. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. All right. we have some tickers ready, right? I pulled up CRNC today as the first one. It's a software and application company. They do trade like at the 52-week low right here, and in the past it has been trading at almost $37, and right now it's at $4. So there's been some big drop in the recent years in this company. And the data isn't, it started like just before the pandemic, it seems like. So do you have the same, Dane, that you don't have so much data on it? Just like 4 years?
Hang on, I just gotta hop over to my fundamental page here. You can keep going because just a sec, because it's just loading it up.
It says like, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but the CRNC or something provides AI-powered virtual assistance for the mobility transportation market worldwide. The company offers edge software components, cloud-connected components, and related toolkits and applications, and virtual assistant coexistence and professional services. So this is like AI for that industry. And it's down 18% on Friday. And the reason I just wanted to pull it up is I don't see too many things here, but they do have 105 million in excess cash, according to my data. And the short-term debt is only 6 million, and the long-term is like 300 million. So they have a lot of cash that they can do something with, you know. And I also saw the short interest was like 18%. But I mean, if they have dropped from 37 to $4 in a year, I can understand the shorts have been correct so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like earnings wise, they've been, and I have data going back to like 2019-ish. So
yeah,
2
same.
years.
Yeah.
But it does look cheap here. Now, granted, it looks ugly.
Yeah.
It generates very little cash flow.
Yeah, it does.
Historically, it's been better, but this past 2 years have been really rough.
But if you go to the margin on the single years, it seems like maybe they are turning it around a little bit. And that also shows in, you know, the averages. I mean, the operating cash flow and free cash flow from 23 to 24, it's turning around a little bit, you know.
Yeah, a little. My issue is still like, even like I have net income is pretty heavily negative. They've been slowly diluting shareholders.
Yeah, they
That's
have.
stayed very consistent. They haven't taken on any more debt, which is nice to see. But
And revenue is jumping up and down a little bit. But
yeah,
they have gotten the capex down, I think.
I mean, I get, you know,
Yeah.
like a real, like if I was to be super bearish, this could get all the way down to like $3.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit lower than that. But honestly, right here, it doesn't seem that crazy.
No, but if you also see at the chart, it's you know, this is new territory. So it's a bit risky to jump in when it is currently around the 52-week low for the first time, you know.
Yeah, and I'm really not a big fan of the fact that it was worth $35 a year ago.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
That's pretty ugly. That's down a lot. So
yeah. But let's check who owns this, because maybe there's something that can give us some confidence.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up Seeking and see what if anyone's talking about it.
Because I mean, the market cap is 167 million, and they have 100 million in cash, you know.
It looks like their CFO just retired.
All right.
They said they're putting the CEO in charge of the CFO position, which kind of scares me, because I really think that's a terrible idea. Because I don't know, CEOs are not financial people usually, like in their heads. You know what I mean? They don't look at it the same way as a CFO does.
Yeah.
So I can see why the market reacted really poorly to that news.
Yeah. I don't see any owners, so I'm also jumping into seeking here. But I mean, 18% in a day though, that's a lot.
Whoa, when was this article from? Holy smokes, this has really plummeted.
It's the newest one?
It's the newest article. He had a buy at March
At
4th, and the stock
14.
price was at $14. And he said he thinks it should be worth around 18, and now it's worth 4.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so
like I
this
said,
is a spin-off business.
Yeah, well, management they didn't go pulling any punches to find decent management here. So
No.
Yeah, this one's a little rough.
Yeah, it is rough. But a lot of cash though. That's kind of like the only thing that I really like there.
What do you have for cash flow recently though?
I looked in the filings. They have 99 million.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a per share basis, and like for last year, or at least 12 trailing months from this point, like for simple free cash flow, I have negative, and for cash flow operations, I only have 3 cents a share. So
yeah, I have the same, so I'm not impressed by those numbers, but they are improved from the year before, though.
Yes, but they need to improve quite a bit
more.
To really turn this around here. Because like I said, at this point, the debt isn't a big deal right now, but they have only 96 million that they keep in cash, which is probably for liquidity purposes. And they're burning like over almost 300 million a year. So they're going to have to dilute by a crazy amount here. Because I get dilution at over 100 million shares. So they're going to have to offer a lot of shares here to stay alive. So this one's definitely risky.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's risky. What do you get for book value? Tangible book? Negative?
Yeah, I mean, I get if they diluted that it could be worth around 45 cents. So nothing impressive there. I get like on the upper side of valuation that this could be just shy of $7 currently, and that's taking into account the market. And I do that by looking at the 52-week high and taking a percentage of that. So that number obviously is going to skyrocket downwards as we get further into this year. But what I really get as evaluations, like just shy of where it's at right now, I get about 378 is what mine says.
All right.
So I probably wouldn't be interested in this until probably below that price, to be honest.
Yeah. And keep in mind, there's still a massive short interest.
What's the short interest?
18%.
To be honest, I would probably be more apt to be short right now than to be. And this is after an 18% drop, I would still probably be short this. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to me.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. Everyone last year said buy. There's a hold.
Yeah, I saw there was a lot of buy articles, but then you see there's no inside buys. Even now, you don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't know if management has any skin in the game, but obviously it's not doing anything to convince them to push this in the right direction here.
And earnings is very ugly as well here.
Yeah.
And they're not buying anything as well, so they just need to work on themselves and improve. But you know, it might be early, but I think you are right with that. They're gonna keep diluting you because they have done that almost every year, and they're gonna need cash. Even if they have cash, they're gonna need more. So there's a lot of things that is against them, but if they can do all of this, I agree with you that you can get a double here at least. I think.
they, they would need to pull off a miracle in my mind, but yeah, right now, not my thing, but
yeah.
But either way, I mean, I'll add it to my list. I add everything I look at just because it's a good reference to see.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm marking it as actually a 1 because honest to me, it looks like it's headed right towards bankruptcy or some massive amount of dilution.
Do you have that they cut the dividend in 23?
I actually don't have a dividend listed, so
Okay.
I mean that just might be my data or something like that. But yeah, I have it as 0 always, so no dividends.
Yeah.
There might have been a special one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I saw some comments saying like it's a good acquisition target, but that's never part of my thesis. Like a strong part, because who knows what's gonna happen? It might as well go bankrupt.
It's to me, it's starting to get out of the territory of a good acquisition target because of the enterprise value, the amount of debt that they hold. It starts to make this like, this is expensive. Like this is going to have to plummet down to like, BNED numbers where it's really ugly at the bottom before someone's going to want to buy it, and they'll buy it on like the super cheap.
Yeah. What do you have for debt?
I have 291 is
yeah. Yeah, we have the same.
And it's been hovering right around there.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I can see. Let me pull up real quick and just see when that's due.
It's due in 28.
28. So I mean, that's the thing. They have plenty of time. So the debt isn't what's concerning. What's concerning is the cash burn.
Cash. Yeah, I agree.
That cash burn is going to kill them. There's no way they can escape that.
And I checked the operating expense here. They have 2 years now with 208 million. So they haven't been able to get it down much, even a little bit maybe, but not enough.
Right. And like, it's not like something they can fix. Like I'm looking at things here, they have SG&A at like some of the lowest it's been. They could pull back on research and development costs, but it's AI. I don't even know how you pull back on that. Like you have to stay on top of it for this kind of company. And CapEx is only 6 million.
Yeah.
So they're not, it's just the business itself isn't making any money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can have it here and then move to ACIC then.
ACIC?
Yeah.
Little insurance. We haven't done much insurance on here.
Is this insurance? I think it's not.
Unless I have the wrong thing pulling up here.
Food and drug store I have.
What? Sorry, what's the ticker then? I must have the wrong ticker.
ACIC.
Oh, I have American Coastal Insurance Corporation.
It's called Albertson's Company.
Hang on,
maybe
let me go
to it might be my sheet that is the wrong one, Oh yeah, when I go to Yahoo, I get the same as you. Yeah, I think mine
Yeah.
is the wrong one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see anything else on that one.
But what do you have? What do you have for revenue this year? Just to see if I have the right numbers.
269 for the
Yeah.
trailing 12.
And what do you have for debt?
149.
Yeah, so I have the wrong numbers. It's just the company that is wrong, like the description. So
Yeah,
this
it
is
looks
an
like they returned
insurance.
to positive earnings this year, but
Yeah.
numbers are a little rough though.
Yeah, they look a bit rough, but they had an acquisition in 23.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have this trade at it's too expensive for me. You know, it trades a little high for me, but
Yeah.
and it looks like they have been paying a pretty historic dividend in the last 2 years. They cut it, so maybe that dividend will come back. But I have fair value for this at like 12.30.
No, okay.
So just a little pricey for me.
Yeah. It does trade close to the 52-week high, this one. Or maybe that's wrong too? No. No, that's correct. All right.
I will say though, it looks like it's turning around.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive what they've done in 24 compared to the 23 numbers at least.
So yeah, I was just see if anyone's talking about this because it looks like just looks like it's slowly turning around here.
But how do you think about the, because we haven't done the insurance companies a lot.
Yeah, actually, the first comment's by Stabos, and he's saying he's shorting it.
Nice. Starting at 11. Yeah. But that's all though, it's from 19 January.
Yeah, you know, and in the comments too, people are talking about how they're, you know, they don't like looking at this from a price to book perspective, which I know Tim says that he uses price to book pretty heavily for his, you know, his initial screenings. That, you know, he wants to find something under price to book, and people are arguing there's reasons why the price to book on this looks so low. So, like I said, I'm looking at this as it's kind of safe right now. Like there's nothing really going on, and as they kind of come out of this time period and they start generating cash flow again, this could return to historic numbers, which, you know, before COVID and everything, they were in really good shape.
Yeah. Starbucks is also saying I was a big cheerleader and owner for this 1 year ago, but I'm currently out of the stock. I would expect it to be comfortably in the double digits this year, more likely than not, but my big holding is HRTG, which seems more demonstrably on the value to me. And I'm probably out of ACIC for this cycle unless there is a pullback combined with eye-popping earnings results.
I mean, this traded all the way down to 30 cents.
30 cents?
Just in the end of 2022,
oh, yeah, there, yeah.
30 cents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, right now, I I actually think it's probably makes sense that it's going to get back to where it was previously. So
Yeah.
whether this will probably bounce around a little bit, but I don't see anything here in terms of it's just too expensive right now.
Yeah. And you know, with him talking about him want to short it and everything, if he has been involved for a long time and he has seen the price go up from 30 cents to maybe $10, you can understand that maybe he is thinking about switching sides, you know. That's a lot of growth.
Right. Yeah, I think at this point now it's just too expensive. It would have definitely been interesting when it got down to 30 cents because
Yeah.
you know, you would have to assume it's going to go bankrupt there. So,
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, it's not even that long ago.
No, it's not. So, like I said,
it's those 2 bad years here, 22 and 23.
But I'm gonna stick. You know, I like I said, I think it's worth about just over $12 right now. I think that's kind of reasonable. But I probably wouldn't even dabble in this unless it got close to like a low. You know, and I know insurance has been kind of struggling recently anyway, so it could just be all from that.
The 9th of May, they came with a news that they're gonna sell off some of their business. So that's a bit interesting here, though.
Yeah, I agree.
So is Barry involved?
In ACIC?
Yeah.
Let me check. I pulled from the first few funds in my lists, but it might have been him.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he probably bought it. He probably bought it for like 40 cents, knowing him. He probably nailed this.
Yeah.
Leave it to that guy to find these stocks.
Yeah, you can just copy Barry, right?
I actually saw someone post that they've just been copying Burry based on his filings, and they said that this year they're up 30%. So that is not a bad strategy at all.
No.
People have said the same thing. You could copy Buffett, and you're going to have you're going to beat the S&P. So
yeah.
Here we are sitting here trying to do all these crazy strategies, and we could just outperform just simply by copying the very best.
Yeah. Oh, but interesting. He, according to Whale Wisdom, his average price is $8.42. And he owned it first, according to them, in Q4 23. So he's pretty new owner, but he was on his last filing as well then.
Yeah, I mean, to time this at the very bottom is probably really hard, but still.
But that means he can be, well, the filing came out now, but if he got involved around 8, I'm assuming that he can sell it at any time, I guess.
If he's involved at 8, I mean, he could have almost had a double here. I mean, not quite, but you know, he's up pretty good.
Yeah, but did he add though? He did add a little bit this filing that came out now. But it's not. It's like his almost his lowest position is it's ranked number 15 out of 16.
Yeah, but it
Not a
might be
big
that he
play.
just caught it a little late too.
Yeah. But okay. That is something though in this one.
You know, and the other thing too is if he got it at $8, I mean, the market cap would have been like 400 million. So it might have been a little small, you know, in terms of what he probably typically looks at. Not that he doesn't look at smaller companies, but it might not have just popped up quick enough for him. Because that's the other thing too. I mean, when this was down at 40 cents, you know, the market cap would have been under 100. So at that point, it probably doesn't pop up on his radar, you know?
Yeah. But I agree with you that it seems like they are turning around now, and but I think I think this is a bit hard to value properly. I agree with you that right now it looks a bit expensive, but that doesn't mean that it can't go more up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Going to be interesting to see if he's gotten rid of that position on the next one.
I would imagine he probably has, but it's tough to say for sure.
Yeah. You want to go to the next?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to move on, and I don't think there's too much else to say about this.
Yeah. So I'm pulling then up BIDU.
Yeah, BIDU.
Oh, I get the wrong info again. So this must be a foreign company, right?
It's China, I believe.
You know what? I'm gonna switch to your screen, cause I have the wrong numbers on mine.
All right, hang on here. Let me just. I just got to update it, and then I got to just blow up the screen here a little bit so you guys can see it.
Yeah. If you share your screen with me, then I think we are good when you're ready then.
And my numbers aren't perfect here.
No.
But hang on, let me share the screen here.
Are we good? Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, you can see that okay?
Think so.
So it's a Chinese language internet search provider. Offers a search platform. So web pages, news, images, documents, multimedia files provided on its website, operates through two segments. Its core mainly provides search-based, feed-based, and online marketing services, as well as product services from the company's new AI. The core section is services offering categorized into mobile, cloud, intelligence. Isn't this like the Google of China?
I think it is. And the market cap is pretty big.
Yeah. Which, like I said, honestly, in my newer portfolio, I don't really, market cap doesn't really scare me anymore.
Yeah.
But my quick thing, just looking at this, I think this looks like it's valued somewhat fairly. I think you could argue it could get up to this number here, this 130-ish, but I would like to see it get down more towards these 52-week lows, like more around 100. But I thought on a chart it looked decent, so.
Yeah.
But really, because Burry bought it, that's kind of what made me interested in it.
So he bought that on the most recent now, right?
Yeah.
But did you what was it most because he had it in there, or because when I'm looking at, I don't even know what I'm looking at because the numbers are so big here in my sheet.
Yeah, no, I just thought I've just seen some of the Chinese companies coming back, and this one's not as cheap though as I was hoping.
Because am I correct that he had bought a few Chinese companies now?
Yeah, I mean, I own Baba at this point. So Baidu's another one of the ones.
Yeah.
And this is a new position for him. And they said they think his estimated average price is $1.08 or 108. So
Yeah.
I say $1.08 because I'm not used to looking at 108. But so he's only up. I mean, this is a new position for him. So he's just positive in terms of going forward. This is the thing though, is it's tough with the numbers from China. Like my numbers here, I don't really trust these numbers because I don't have it filled in great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know how much there is to go off this one. This is obviously like a growth type thing. It's got plenty of cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's tough for me.
Yeah, same here.
But I'm pretty sure this one was considered the Google of China. So, you know, it's obviously a big thing too. And the other thing too is if they're pushing for AI and they stay as the leader, they're only going to get better and better, which creates a even bigger moat. You know, like for instance, like for probably the most of the Western world, you know, most of us use Google. If Google comes out with an AI service that makes their search even that much better and you know continues to keep Google ahead of anybody else, Microsoft, all the other ones, I'm sure that are going to try and take over. You know, I think it just creates like such an important moat in terms of searching.
Yeah, it also says that they have like a community, like a wiki page, so you can ask questions and get people like communities to answer it.
You know, I'll say Wall Street here is buy, strong buy.
Yeah. But a bit different from our normal.
Turnaround's finally gaining momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said though, my strategy has slightly changed a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you know, Baidu's a big company in China, so it's you know, this person here is saying that they're working with I don't know, I think it's Huawei or however you say it, Huawei, or it's the phone company there. It sounds like they're working with possibly for driving and being able to use it in autonomous driving. So there's probably a lot of bullish things going forward in terms of and to be honest, I think you're starting to watch China inject a lot of money back into the economy. And I think they realized that by them kind of putting all these restrictions on some of these companies, it really hurt the Chinese economy. And I think they're starting to reconsider that approach. Not totally, but they're going to try and turn things around here because at least from a market standpoint, China's been struggling quite a bit. How the actual economy is performing and the average person's doing, I don't know. I have no clue. But
Yeah.
I know the restrictions that they put on have been pretty harsh. So
Yeah. No, but let's move to the next one. And this was a bit hard, right?
yeah, I'll stop sharing. All right.
Yeah, I'll switch over again. So the next one I have is NXST. And I think I have the right information here. Is this a media company? I hope so.
Hang on, I'm just waiting for mine to upload.
You're getting tired of having the wrong information.
I have it's an industrial tech company.
Yeah. Mine is a media and broadcasting.
Yeah, we literally don't have the same company. It's ST.
NXST.
Oh, NXST. Okay, now I got him.
You got it?
Yep.
Nice. So they are pretty expensive for one share though, $170.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really bother me. I don't really care about share price, to be honest.
Yeah.
They got, they're a pretty big market cap. They're just over 5 billion. And they only have 33 million outstanding shares. So they've kept shares pretty tight, but just at a quick look, numbers look pretty good.
And look at the dividend, almost $6.
Yeah.
And they've had very good years after the pandemic.
Yeah, and this year they've had a little bit of a pullback, but revenues are still trending up. They have a lot of debt, but typically a lot of media companies do. So that might be pretty normal actually. And I mean they're still generating pretty solid earnings with that debt. So the interest payments must not be a big deal at the moment.
Yeah. Who are owners here?
There's got to be people that own this because this otherwise looks pretty good here.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is right now I get it's definitely on the high end in terms of it's expensive. Like it's definitely right towards the top here.
Yeah, I saw that it was trading 10% to the 52-week high. So the chart looks the chart doesn't look too bad from from September, October when a lot of charts looks a bit like this. Since then. There's a lot of owners here who owns also like a big, their position is worth a lot.
Yeah, I think it looks like a good company. It's just definitely too expensive right here for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And it seems like they've done some asset sales the last 2 years. Do you get that as well? And before that, they were buying. So it seems like maybe they are doing the right things as well in terms of, keep growing the company.
Yeah, they probably are trying to keep their margins up. Yeah, I have a couple bigger purchases like 5 and 8 years ago, and then they've kind of been kind of back and forth, like you said.
Yeah. But revenue slowly like growing slash stabilizing on between 4.5 to 5 billion, which is a lot. And you have they bought back shares in the recent years.
Yeah, I mean they are pummeling money back into the share count, which looks good.
Yeah, plus the
They've
dividend. So
they paid a very steady dividend that's been increasing. So I mean, management looks great here.
This is probably a company for a different portfolio, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going to put this in like that. It's a good company.
Yeah.
Probably go more in that section.
Yeah. And do you know about them in the States or what?
Let me see what they actually own, because I know this is terrible to say. I'm sitting here valuing this tonight, and I don't know exactly what they own.
It says its stations are affiliates of ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS.
Yeah, I mean, so those are all like the big ones. CW segment. These are all massive channels in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like they own a lot.
Yeah. Very little insider ownership, though.
Yeah, but I think this is similar to like Paramount and a lot of these other ones. Like these assets at this point are just kind of worth whatever they're worth. You know what I mean? Like, you could sell these off. It's the thing is on a tangible book value, I get it's like highly negative because I'm sure there's a ridiculous amount of goodwill here from these purchases.
Yeah.
But on a just a regular book value, I get like $70 a share, which is obviously a little bit deflated. But like my point being here is that number one, earnings keep growing. They're not really taking on a ton of extra debt or anything like that. So these are real earnings that they're getting, and they've actually been paying debt down steadily. So they're doing a great job. They're buying quite a bit of things. They're paying their debt down. Margins have held pretty steady. If you look at like return on invested capital, it's actually slowly increasing, and it's at 13%, which is kind of nuts. So this is just a very well-run company.
Yeah.
And
I saw on their balance sheet they have 3 billion in goodwill and also 3 billion in FCC licenses. So I guess that's a big deal in these types of companies.
Yeah, no, all the licensing's huge. So and we're going into a political year here in the States, where we're going to have a presidential vote. So political advertisements big this year.
Yeah.
I own quite a few of these different ones. Like I bought GTN. I know there's another one that I bought too. So all these kind of names are things that are kind of in my wheelhouse, just because I think there's something to it. ATNI, the one that I had told you about, I have a position with them.
Yeah.
I actually took a position with Shen. I know you guys had looked at Shen on your last stream.
Yeah, I think we did. I'm just trying. Is Barry involved in that one too?
I can't remember if this one was Burry or not. No, this one wasn't Burry.
No, he sold his position in this one.
Oh, okay.
So he sold this quarter, because I found some on Seeking Alpha saying like in the news section there it says Burry sign asset adds and a lot of tickers, but it's for the next star page, so I didn't connect the two. But he sold out then. Yeah,
and I get fair value here at like 178. So it's a little shy of where it's gotten up to.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
and there's an article out yesterday from this saying sell. You know, maybe that's a bit influenced by Barry as well, but there's a lot of comments on it already, so there's some people are watching this one.
yeah, it's interesting here. It's like I said, it's a little big. So it's not like you're going to see probably huge returns from this, but I would definitely want a big pullback on this one before it became interesting to me.
Yeah. And you know, Barry can sell because he has reached his target. It might not be that. Well, he you know, he says that he always looks for value. So I guess he doesn't sell out his entire position if he believes there's more value here. But you know, you don't really know why people are selling even.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
All right, you want to move on or?
Yeah, we can keep going on. Which one you got next?
ORCL.
ORCL. Okay. I think these are all from Burry, basically.
Yeah, it could be.
Just when I was looking through. The problem, though, is a lot of them I had seen in his portfolio looked like they had already kind of like materialized in terms of gains. So
yeah,
it might be. It might be some of these names just keep looking expensive because that's what I keep seeing here. It's just it looks a little expensive to me. So
yeah. But do you have some? Did you find something else that you want to look at, or?
Oh, I have other name. I mean, I have other stuff I pulled in for my screening, and
let's go to one of those then.
All right, the first one I have is BWEN.
BWEN.
Yeah, Broadwind.
Yeah, let's check here. Yeah, I'm pulling them up now then. Maybe you can read the business description.
Yeah, it's a precision manufacturer of structures, equipment, and components for clean tech and other specialized applications. Operates through 3 segments: heavy fabrication, gearing, and industrial solutions. Heavy fabrication segment provides large, complex, and precision fabrications to customers in a broad range of markets. Gearing is for gearboxes, set of customers in diverse markets, including onshore and offshore oil and gas, fracking and drilling, surface and underground mining, all kinds of things for energy, it looks like. And they also do repair services for those. And then also they provide supply chain solutions, light fabrication, inventory management, kitting and assembly services. So just all kinds of stuff in different industrial type industries. So somewhat diversified. Stocks at 343 right now. I get kind of an upper valuation of about 450, and it's more interesting in the low 2s. So a little pricey at the moment. But cash flow looks decent in the last year. It looks like COVID years were pretty harsh on them, and they've been increasing their share count. So,
yeah.
But this last year looks really good. So that's probably why we've seen a little bit of a run up here. Wow, a huge run up in the past. Oh my God, we just missed this one. I was just saying in the low 2s, it looks great. And you pull up the chart, man. It was just down in the 2s, and now it's at 340 in like a week.
Oh no, I see it here.
Oh my gosh, it looks excellent at that price.
That was a Monday.
That's brutal.
But what happened though? Good earnings?
Probably. Because these numbers really turned around here.
Yeah, they had on
But they've been
Tuesday.
turning around is what I'm saying too. Like my numbers are from, well, they're from March 31st. So yeah, so the recent earnings, but that's from March 31st. So
People are not talking about this at all. There's no comments. The articles are old, so this is something that has been missed.
yeah, they beat earnings on May 14th. So this was another one that's was just starting to look good here too. But just missed the name. Oh, just a second behind on this one.
There was an insider buying, not a big one, but that was in November. But they bought at 218.
Yeah, but that's not to not say something, because man, back in November it would have been probably interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
This wasn't in my database too, so I'm not going to kick myself too much because I didn't even have a chance to see it. But
and look at the volume on that spike; it's very little.
well, I mean, you probably don't have a ton of people interested in this, and
No.
honestly, it looks good. So
yeah, sometimes you like that, right? That other peoples are not following this.
yeah, it's not such a bad thing. I mean, that's how you get opportunities, because a lot of the market's not following it.
Yeah. I mean, the volume was up compared to the other days here, but it's still not like a crazy. If you look at the chart there, they had a big spike January 23. But I kind of still, I don't mind this still though.
No, I don't either. And debt's pretty reasonable. Like I said, margins look like they're drastically improving. They have been issuing shares, but not at like a crazy amount where it's kind of like just made the company seem stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and now they're in a better position. They're going to start to generate cash here. I imagine book value is going up.
Yeah. I'm gonna add it to the tracker.
Oh, darn.
But I down at 2. that would be a good entry, I think. That was even below book value, right?
Yeah. This is a missed opportunity right here. I can't believe I didn't see this one pop up anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they're saying that that the tariffs that Biden's been putting on China is going to drastically benefit them too. So that's brand new.
All right.
So I don't know. This might have room to run.
Yeah, because I kind of still like it. Does your sheet issue shares? Because mine don't, but it does say levered.
Mine says levered, and that's only because the historic cash flows have been kind of rough.
Yeah.
But it actually does issue 4 million shares, but that's
okay.
Honestly, it's kind of negligible. It doesn't really matter.
No, it's not a big deal. My whole point was that I'm not worried about the debt even here, yeah, but they don't have so much cash right now though. But they do generate it.
Yeah, you know, I might take a small position in these guys.
Yeah.
Just because I still think there's pretty good room to run here. It's up a lot, so I'll probably put a stop loss in.
Yeah.
But I think I am going to take a small position in these guys.
They've improved the margins a lot even. On the earnings they beat all the estimates.
Yeah, I hate to I hate to buy it here, but
Yeah.
I think it has room to run. And the chart looks amazing, obviously. I mean, it's late to the party, but better late than never, right?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said it's kind of late to the party, but better late than never, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because of course you would want in here at 214 or whatever it was on Monday, but I kind of still like the cash generation and everything with the margins and all that at these levels still. But I'm hoping for a pullback here, but I don't think you will see it.
Yeah, I doubt it. All right, well there's a quick find.
Yeah, that was a good one. I immediately added it to the tracker. You wanna? Do you have more though? More tickers?
Oh, of course I have more tickers. I have always like I said with the new strategy,
Yeah.
and like using the charts and stuff to find things. Oh my,
Yeah.
it's like overwhelming some days. Like there, I have to
That's good
I
though.
have to just try and pick the best of the barrel because like I'll pull up like 50 of them. I'll be like, oh my god, these all look good to me.
Yeah. Sometimes when I screen, it's like I find so many things and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a bit exhausting, but it's just good, you know. The more you can get through, the more, first of all, the more experience you're going to get, but also, of course, you're going to improve the chances to find stuff that you can track, which is what we are here for.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I mean, after you and I going through the funds and stuff like that too, the problem is like, you know, looking at Bury stuff. Yeah, it looks great. And it looked great, you know, 5 months ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. We are when you pull from the funds, you have to assume that you are a bit late, you know.
Yeah. The next one I have is DXC, which I have looked at them
DXC.
before. DXC.
All right. Maybe you can just read again then.
Yeah, it is a tech company, global information IT services. They run their mission critical systems and operations while modernizing IT, optimizing data architecture, and ensuring security, scalability across public, private, and hybrid clouds. They have a global business service and global infrastructure services. The GBS segment provides technology solutions that help its customers address their business challenges and accelerate transformation adjustments to each customer, industry, and specific objectives. That includes analytics, engineering, application, and insurance software that businesses can use. And the GIS segment provides a portfolio of technology offerings that deliver predictable outcomes and measurable results when reducing business risk and operational costs for their customers. It also includes security, cloud infrastructure, and IT outsourcing for modern workplaces. So a lot of IT type stuff, cloud, you know, internet infrastructure, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're
And what's the
a
market cap?
decent sized company with a decent amount of debt. So, but a pretty strong cash position, and they bought back a ridiculous amount of shares.
Okay. I got him now. So let's check here.
Revenues have been on the decline. Generates pretty good cash flow, good free cash flow for that matter. Net earnings is kind of all over the place.
They had a big sale in 21.
Yeah, so that's probably why you saw that revenue the revenue decreased, but it looks like the
Yeah.
margins are slowly getting better, and it looks like turnover percentages are getting better too.
Yeah. And they have paid down some serious debt since that sale, and also bought back shares.
Yeah, a lot of shares. I mean,
Yeah,
I
a
have
lot.
like 40 million.
Yeah.
I get fair value here around like 2150.
All right.
So I actually have this as somewhat cheap down here.
You see very little inside ownership here. I get it at 1%. There's some articles out from yesterday, and I think that was they had new earnings on 16th of May. So that's why you see it down yesterday, 17%.
Yeah, it says that they had an earnings beat, but their guidance is lower.
Yeah.
People
Do
are
you see
saying
the
more it's
comments?
just the outlook looks ugly for it. So even though right now it looks good, the outlook apparently even by management themselves looks kind of low.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad because its numbers did look good.
Yeah, actually this doesn't look too bad, but it's a bit levered though.
Yeah, I just think if it's still generating earnings and stuff like that, the leverage isn't such a concern.
No, I agree, but
The
how's the
big
chart
concern
looking?
here is the pretty big drop in revenues.
Yeah. And I would have to check in on that asset sale. It's a long time ago now, but it seems like that has revenue has fallen since, and so there's a big difference between the 3 years going into the pandemic and then after.
Yeah, right. I will say though, in the meantime, management buying back shares and paying down the debt. That's what you want
Yeah.
to see them do. I still think it's well run.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, they are at the book value more or less now, and if this drop is on guidance, it would be interesting to see how far it will drop on that guidance, and then do your own thinking if it's justified or not.
Yeah, I agree. It's I don't think it looks all that crazy.
No, I agree. There was a article yesterday. Did you go through that?
Yeah, I just peeked at what it was saying. I was really looking more at the comments and stuff, but yeah, it just looks like like I said, it's because of it's all down because the guidance right now is kind of rough.
Yeah. So he has a hold rating, which is justified, I guess, if you are still in it. Did you check the owners?
Not yet. Yeah, it looks like most people are saying that like it'll probably pull back a little bit, but it's probably going to trade around here pretty well. So you might be able to kind of keep an eye on the chart and possibly catch this at the lows and then watch it bounce back up to some of the highs. But it's probably going to stay somewhat depressed here.
The market cap is already a bit high, but I don't mind that in this one, and I think it's worth putting it in my tracker sheet just to have a way to follow the development here.
Yeah, and I mean, if they had it like if they do have like an earnings beat or anything like that, like it'll look good.
I mean, it's a bit weird to fall 20% on an earnings beat. Just I understand, of course, the guidance doesn't look good, but you get punished for a good quarter then.
Yeah, but I also respect management to come out and say that, it looks like they're going to kind of be stagnant for a while. That it's just another indicator to me that management here is looking out for shareholders and it's just saying like, hey, it's probably going to be at least next year or this year and into next year before we really start to grow again.
Yeah. And that's kind of where you get the, it's not too long ago this was almost at $30. So if they can,
right.
if you can track it now and get maybe in around 15 or even maybe lower, and then just hold it, I think this eventually will find a way to turn around again. Because I still, just looking at fundamentals here, I do like it. And like you say, they have bought back shares, they have paid down the debt, they have done some asset sales. You see management trying. And then when you were saying now with the guidance and stuff, I was immediately thinking about ALTO that didn't even update any shareholders when that stuff happened. Simple
right.
things like that could have been avoided for that big drop that happened. So I agree that you want to see this.
Yeah, because this is one way I look at it too, is like you're saying, so like, these guys come out and say, hey, we're probably going to be like slow. So it just gives you an idea, like, if you're more of a value investor like we are, when this starts to hit some of the lows, it's probably a decent time to take some shares on, because they're literally telling you probably, hey, it's going to bottom out around here and it's going to take some time, but it will recover. So, I mean, what better news is there? Like, imagine if ALTO had come out and said like, hey, we're into rough patches here. And we think it's going to be this long, like, let's say the end of 2024 until we get to where we think we're going to be. The stock price, it might have dropped down to, like the low dollars, like you and I had said, but
yeah.
at least for the next time period, we would have known that, hey, around that value, it's a fair value and it's probably going to come back, as opposed to blindsiding everybody and saying like, oh, whoops, sorry, everything's terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, they must have been aware of the stuff that were going on around their company on social media. Like there was a lot of positive comments from a lot of big like name investors like Justin and Kingdom, and there was Jeremy was involved. They must have been aware, so it's like just to come out and say something would be of big benefit.
Right. No, I totally agree. Hey, I do got to get going though. Okay.
Yeah, I can add the comments after, and we can just kind of finish it here.
But no, I think we went through some decent names. I'm happy I added one to the portfolio already, or I'm going to add to it.
Yeah.
And
that was BWEN.
Yeah, BWEN is the one I think that's got room to run. Now, how much it's going to go up, and it could drop, it could pull back here too. And if it does pull back, I might add to it. Just because it's been quite a ridiculous bounce here, but still interesting.
Yeah. Hey Dane, we just got a comment from Resius. He said sorry, just joins, and he congratulates us on BNED, but nothing to congratulate on. We are out of BNED, Resius. But big gain though. We started the stream by commenting on BNED, and we don't have really any recommendations. But if you watch the stream, we have gone through a lot of tickers today and. Talked about what we see, but nothing of it is any recommendations, you know. So that's my biggest advice. If you want to see what we have gone through today, it's all in the stream here. But nice, thank you for joining in, Resius.
Yeah, it's just poor timing on our parts, but like I said, in the future, I won't have to worry about it. That's just part of the whole idea of changing the strategy. But yeah, I mean, anybody that's in BNED, you know, cheers to you, because it's just tough to time these kind of things. So I think that's why just kind of holding things and kind of like RK had said, just dragging your feet. It can lead to results regardless of as things go, because things go up and down. They go up by crazy amounts. BNED, we've seen the volume before. It does bounce, and it bounces crazy. And you get a stock that's, you know, in the pennies, and, you know, it doesn't take much money to be thrown at that before the stock price does something crazy.
Yeah, right.
Resius, I mean, there's a few tickers today. If you go back through BWEN, we were just talking about BWEN. I think BWEN is super interesting right now. It's already up quite a bit, but I still think it looks good.
It can still move up that one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of things to look at right now. I feel like I still have a lot I want to go through. I just gotta head out for my day here. But I'll keep an eye out to see if there's anything else that seems to kind of catch my eye here, because like I said, there's a lot of good stuff moving.
And this coming week, Dane, we are going back to the normal schedule, right?
Yes, I will be on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I believe my normal time.
Yeah. And then I do Thursday, and we will be back together on the Saturday then. And as always, if we have to do some changes, we try to post them on our X profile. So if you don't follow us there, you should to get the updates for the streaming schedule. But you can also find the streaming schedule in the YouTube channel description. So it's all there. All right. That's all for today then.
Yeah. Resius, I'm not quite sure what time. I don't. Does it tell you when people commented?
He just commented.
Yeah, but I wish it doesn't timestamp it, right? They really should do that. It's kind of, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for if you did subscribe, appreciate that.
Thank you.
And going forward, we hope to keep finding things. Like I said, so far the new portfolio for me has just been slowly trickling up. Few names I've sold, and you know, I'm definitely working on having all the different tickers and stuff like that. It's just definitely a big change to the strategy, but but I'm gonna just keep slowly trudging through here, trying to find names that are interesting to me. I think it's I like it. It's to me, it's a little bit more wieldy to follow, even though it's a lot of stocks. It's a little easier actually for me to handle and follow it.
Yeah. All right. Then we will see you on Tuesday, Dane, and everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for tuning in or watching, and we will see you on Tuesday. Hopefully we get some development on the Roaring Kitty thing. Maybe there's some crazy moves in BNED still, and hopefully we will find some new tickers as well. So we are still excited, right, Dane?
Yeah, no, I actually, I'm pretty optimistic right now. I think things are looking good. I think there's a lot of room to look around here. So
yeah. All right, bye.
All right.
See you.
Have a good one, everybody.